Hello and welcome back. This time around we're going to be talking about geometric constraint fundamentals inside Autodesk Inventor. So what we'll be going over today is how we display, add, and delete geometric constraints inside of our sketches inside of Inventor, how to create fully constrained sketches, how to create, display, and modify our parametric relations, and how to use dimension variables or use the parameters inside of Inventor. So in previous sections, we have talked about and applied the shape before size method of modeling. In this method, we use our dimensions in our sketches to describe size and location for our features. Well, we also have other tools known as sketch constraints or geometric constraints within our sketches that we can use to also help lock down our sketches. So geometric constraints, what are they? Essentially, they are relationships between the features we have in our sketches, and they help us obtain that fully constrained sketch that we're trying to find in our sketches. So as a rule, we always want to apply our geometric constraints first before we go in and start adding in our dimensions. This helps preserve the sketch and make sure nothing weird happens as we're going along and adding our dimensions in. As we're going along, Inventor will automatically add in some of these constraints for us. So if I draw a line and go exactly 90 degrees up and draw the next line, it'll automatically throw a perpendicularity constraint in there for me. And just like our dimensions, our constraints can be selected and deleted out of our sketches if we don't want them, which leads us into over-constraining. So what is over-constraining? Well, that means we're adding more constraints than are necessary to our sketch. And Inventor won't allow us to do this, as well as any other parametric CAD program. What it will allow us to do, though, is to over-dimension our sketches. So if we add in a dimension that we don't really need to help constrain a sketch down, Inventor and other CAD programs will turn that into a driven, or what's more commonly known as a reference dimension. These dimensions appear in parentheses, and they're actually not doing anything in our sketches. So all they're doing is showing the information for us. So if you try and click on them or edit them in any way, it's not going to do it. And then there is auto dimension. I really hate mentioning this tool to people because many people go about using this as a one-stop shop in order to constrain their sketches down. And in all actuality, it's not really useful. So what this command does, it will try and go in and add a constraint and a dimension everywhere that it sees that we have features or geometry not locked down. And as you can guess, sometimes this gets really messy. So if you take a peek at the gear sketch that I have up on the slide here, that's using auto dimension. It's nasty, not useful for anybody. What it is good for is if you're stuck with one or two constraints or dimensions left to lock down your sketch, it is a good tool to double check and see what you might be missing or what needs to be dimensioned. And really, that's the only use I can truly recommend this command for. So as we're going along, let's avoid using this. Now, we've talked a lot about our dimensions and our constraints in our sketches, and what we need to get into next, now that we've covered them, is how we can relate them to one another. So inside of Inventor and other CAD programs as well, everything that we input into the model is recorded as a parameter. And we can use and rename these parameters as we need to elsewhere inside of our sketch or our part. It automatically starts at D0 whenever we place our first dimension, and it just goes up from there. So D0, D1, D2, so on and so forth. And we can use these within other dimensions or other creation commands. Anywhere that we can input information, we can use parameters to fill that information out, which makes a parametric modeling program very, very powerful. Well, that's all I've got for you on the lecture side. I'll catch you over in the tutorial video where we'll actually see some of this in action. So, as always, be inventive.